Lungta Narong Sak Kinalayo. This clip is for educational purposes only, not for public distribution. This is the contemplation of our body and mind. If we are no longer attached to our bodies and minds, we won't attach to other people's bodies either. We won't be attached to husband, wife, children, parents, wealth, people, animals, or worldly objects. The contemplation must be on our body. If we contemplate others' bodies, we can't let go of attachments because they will all die, leaving only us still standing. Therefore, we need to contemplate our body, to end the attachments to self as me or mine. See the truth that this self is composed of the body and mind. The coarse part is the body. Investigate the body first from any aspect to see that it's impermanent, stressful, and not self, not a permanent me. Contemplate your body to see the truth of impermanence. It goes through aging, illness, dying, rotting, decaying, turning into earth, water, wind, and fire elements, and returning to nature elements. Contemplate repeatedly, backwards and forwards, starting with the impermanence of Sangharas. Once finished, contemplate to see their impermanence in backward order. The contemplation of the body to see the truth can result in sensations of lightness, emptiness, and bright light. Don't let go of the cause and focus on the results. Without a cause, there won't be any results. For example, Lungpu Wane Sujino turned up in my nimitta 20 to 30 years ago. He came towards me. It was in 1994 AD. I suffered a lot at the time due to attachments. He pointed his finger at my face and said, "Is this a Dhamma practitioner? Why are you so full of attachments and suffer from them? How can this be? Look carefully. What are you clinging to? Is there anything you can cling to? Look carefully." With that, his standing body started to disintegrate, rot, and become bloated. As the rotting process progressed, it turned green and then burst, letting out decomposing blood and lymph. Putrefying blood and flesh began to fall off the body onto the floor. Internal organs, spleen, liver, heart, small intestine, and others fell to the ground, all rotting away, leaving the skeleton standing. The skeleton then began to crack, decay, break into pieces and turn into dust, piling up on top of the hair on the head, hair on the body, teeth, skin, ligaments, bones, liver and kidney that are rotting away on the ground. The ground shook. The bones, organs, blood and flesh all sank into the earth. There was no trace of the pile of organs, as everything returned to normal once again. The Dhamma arose in my mind. From the earth returns to the earth. From nature returns to nature. Anything you can cling to. Following that, the earth shook with popping noise. Bones and organs started to emerge from the ground. Rotting continued, all in slow motion, displaying backwards. There was a pile on the ground, forming into a skeleton. Followed by organs, flesh and blood. And from a rotting state, it shrank and turned into Lung Bu Wane. This is contemplating backwards and forward and in slow motion. The image was crystal clear and in slow motion. Back to Lung Bu Wane Sujino. He then patted me gently on the head and said, "Remember, child, there is nothing to cling to. Don't be attached." He said kindly, "Look carefully once again, child. What are you attached to? Is there anything that you can hold on to?" Once again, his body gradually decomposed, clearly displayed in slow motion. This was 2537 BE. This is the way he had shown of how to contemplate the body. The truth is that there is no real self. We have to give it back to nature. From earth returns to earth. Why do they scatter the remains on the water? To remind us that we come from earth and we will return to earth. Big bones sank into the water, merging with the earth. Sand suction boats come to suck the bones of each person each year to fill the land and for house building work. Plants grow and consume minerals from our corpses. Animals feed on them. Minerals from our corpses thus stay in others' bodies. What then is truly ours? Things change hands. From our bodies, they stay in others' bodies. From water, it returns to water. The water in our body is heated up, evaporates, turns into droplets and falls as rain to feed other people, animals and plants. things change hands.
กันใช้
With the wind element, we breathe out carbon dioxide for other people, animals and plants to use.
พืชพันธุ์ทั้งหลายก็เอาไปกินเอาไปใช้ต่อไป
The heat from our body or the fire element can be used by others. But we are deluded while alive, thinking this is me, mine, and myself. I felt that the fire of death was approaching.
มันลามไหม้ไฟแห่งความตายเนี่ยมันไหม้มันจะถึงเราแล้ว เราจะมัวนอนอยู่
What's the
ทำไม
point of carrying on sleeping?
เดี๋ยวเราจะต้องได้
Soon
นอน
enough, I would
ยาว
sleep for a long time and never wake up again. I didn't feel like sleeping anymore. I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about death. All that was born will die. Dying before we die. We will die. Our wife and children will also die.
ทุกคนก็ต้องตายต้องตาย
Everybody dies.
เราเลยพิจารณาอย่างนี้นอนไม่หลับเลย
I couldn't sleep. I walked all night.
เราไม่คืนเราไม่เคยนอนเลย
I never slept but contemplated repeatedly until the mind let go.
ซ้ำจนใจเราปลงปล่อยวาง
Very often, Dhamma arose and hit me that nature is cruel.
ทุกคนเกิดมาก็เพื่อ
We were born to die, and yet we are deluded like a worm wriggling in the heat.
และทุกคนก็ลุ่มหลง
People don't know what they live for, why they were born, and then die for nothing. What's the point of living?
นอนไม่หลับพิจารณาอย่างนี้ซ้ำใจมันก็ปลง
Contemplate as such repeatedly until the heart lets go. We were born to die. The second wave chasing after the first. Those who were born before us are already dead. Some of those who were born after us also died before us. When we were young, we saw grandparents pass away. When we grew up, our parent generation died. When our children grow up, we will die. When our grandchildren grow up, our children will die. The second wave chases after the first. This is the truth that one cannot deny. The Buddha said that each of our bones piles up on earth as high as a mountain, from death to birth, and birth to death. Our tears of sorrow are the sea or an ocean. We have suffered a lot. Suffered a lot.